Hey, it's Jamila. I just wanted to take a moment and make this really quick review video on the 2 free apps for trying to conceive, or TTC, Fertility Friend versus Ovia. And that's the Ovia yellow one. It's the Ovia Fertility app. So just to give you a little bit of background, I had my first son when I was 37, my second son when I was 39. When I had my first son when I was 37, now, mind you, I don't have any other children. I had never been pregnant before. And so with my first son, all I did was use the first response ovulation predictor kits to determine my window. And that worked fine the first time around. But after I had my son, never having had kids before, I was like, okay, well, do I still ovulate on the same day, or what day is that? Or, I wanted to know. And so, you always are Googling online when you're TTCing, right? Excuse me. And you're always finding all this information. And I kept reading about temping, taking your temperature, whatever. So just to give you a quick understanding, when you ovulate, right before you ovulate, your body releases a surge of estrogen, which causes your temperature to drop. And then once the egg is released, your temperature shoots up because the hormone progesterone now is starting to be produced. Your estrogen drops and your progesterone goes up, because progesterone is the hormone that sustains pregnancy. So think of it as when because you know the expression bun in the oven. So when you're pregnant, you're warmer because you're basically baking a little human. So it's kind of like your body's preheating for your baby to get made. And so that's what progesterone does. It raises the temperature. So estrogen, zoop, and then boom. And your temperature stays elevated until your period comes, and then it drops again. So temping really is the only way that you can confirm that you are ovulating. And if you're using the right app, you can pretty much know what day that is. Most women typically ovulate on the same day every month. Some, it can vary. For me personally, it's the same day every month. My cycle is very consistent, very regular. But like I said, after I had my first son, I wasn't sure. And so I decided to go ahead and start temping. So when you start temping, you buy something called a basal thermometer. You can Google that. And you put it under your tongue. I'm telling you, some of the stuff you read in these forums, it's like, you're putting it where? No, okay? You just... What it is when you wake up in the morning before you get out of bed, you reach over, take your thermometer, stick it under your tongue, boop, it beeps. You get the temperature, and then you get up, and then you enter it into your little app on your phone, and then you go about your business. Now, let's say, for example, you wake up every day at 5 a.m. to go pee, but you don't actually get up and start your day until 7. Take your temp at 5 a.m. Lay there, take your temp, boop, put in your app, go pee, get back in the bed, sleep till 7. Why? Because the temperature that you've been laying there for the longest, that's the one that you want to take. And if you do have to get up, they recommend that it be at least a 3-hour block that you've been asleep, before you take your temp again. So anyway, that's way more information on temping than I wanted to give. But I'm giving you that background because it's important to keep in mind, because what I personally found was Ovia is pretty much useless when it comes to temping. Fertility Friend was an app that was designed really for temping, and I found it to be incredibly accurate and insightful when it came to learning about your cycle. For me, and because I got my notes here, I used the yellow Ovia app for months, and I just found it to be the best predictor of when my period was going to start. But as far as ovulation goes, the window that it predicted was too wide. I was putting my temps into the Ovia app, and it really just didn't give me any type of a confirmation at all on my ovulation. When I switched to the Fertility Friend app, I actually took all of the data that I had entered into the Ovia app and put it into Fertility Friend, because I had 3 months worth of data, and it predicted my fertile window with incredible accuracy. And it confirmed for me that yes, I still ovulated on the same day. My cycles were normal. Having a baby didn't change anything. And it's funny because the very month I started using Fertility Friend is the very month we got pregnant with my second son. Now, I'm not saying that, the app was responsible for that, but I'm saying it didn't hurt. And it narrows it down to just 3 days. And that's it. Ovia has it like 6 days. It's crazy. So with Fertility Friend, the information, all you're putting in the app, it does have the ability to collect other information, but all you really need to enter in is your temperature every day, what you see in your underwear, your period, of course, and when you do it, so it can confirm, okay, well, this is probably when it happened, whatever. And then you need to be doing that for at least 3 months to get an accurate idea or picture of when you're actually ovulating every month. Now, I'll say this, if you have something like PCOS, I'm not sure. I know that makes getting pregnant very challenging, and sometimes your cycles can be very long, and your ovulation day can be all over the place. I would suggest that if you are able to do it for at least 3 months to get some accurate data in the app, it might at least give you a better understanding or handle on your cycle, because it may seem irregular, but it actually may have a certain amount of regularity for you. It just may be really long. Do you see what I'm saying? So, but it's just the Fertility Friend app, it just allows you to come to know and understand your cycle, get that feedback and information in a way that just makes sense and is very useful if you're TTCing. Now, the Ovia app, it collects a ton of what I feel is miscellaneous information. I did not find it to be very helpful as a predictor of when I ovulated or when I was going to be ovulating as far as my fertile window goes. And I just found it to be good at predicting when my period was going to start. So at the end of the day, my recommendation, Fertility Friend versus the Ovia Fertility app, 2 thumbs up for Fertility Friend and 2 thumbs down for Ovia. Save your time and energy from just entering stuff into that app. If you really want to pinpoint and be accurate, it's faster just to use Fertility Friend and Tim for 3 months, and then all this. And couple that with, the ovulation predictor kit, as like a backup, if you just want to know. Because really it's all about just knowledge and understanding and knowing your own fertile window. That's it. That's not stuff we're ever taught in school. It's not a class that anybody teaches you. You're taught basically like, hey, God just looks at you, get pregnant, or it's so easy to get pregnant. But what you realize is that actually when you are focusing on making it a deliberate effort, it can not be challenging, but you just know that, oh, okay, no, every time I have sex, I don't get pregnant. Okay. Oh, because I didn't ovulate. And when I do, the egg's only alive for 24 hours and sperm only lives in you for 3 days. Now, yes, there have been some cases where it can go longer or whatever, and that's why Ovia has this long window. Listen, okay, I'll just be conservative, okay, in that particular regard, so that you can make sure you're having the frequency enough to, make sure that there's something there when the egg comes out. So that is my 2 cents. That is my review. I highly recommend the Fertility Friend app if you are trying to learn and understand your own fertility, particularly if you're not even necessarily looking to get pregnant, but trying to practice natural family planning. It's a great way to get to learn and know your fertile window, so then you can, make decisions or choices in the best way that you see fit. But I do not recommend the Ovia app as a useful tool. And yes, I didn't mention it, but the Fertility Friend app does also predict when your period will start, and it is also very accurate as well. So that's my 2 cents. I hope this was helpful. Feel free to leave a comment below, or if you have any questions, please subscribe to my channel. And if you are over 35 and you're trying to conceive naturally, check out my website at CoachJamila.com. Let's schedule a time to chat if you would like some additional help in this area, and see if I could be of service to you. All right, you guys take care.